I'm Dr. Bart Rademaker, and this is Prescription for Your Transformation: Real People, Real Conversations, and Real Success. And totally privileged to bringing to you a short series of the Heart of Resilience, where we explore how we can actually celebrate our humanity by creating a safe container, the safe space where our voices will be heard, and inspiring others to step into their own potential, to become the best version of themselves, become the heroes, whether they're givers or receivers, leaders or students. And I welcome two amazing artists who have shown us how that's possible in the Congo and other parts of Africa. Benjamin and Azarine, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
And I'm excited that we have this short series over the next month or so, where every week we're going to be sharing some of the incredible murals, the incredible art, and the stories behind those art pieces that have inspired you, but inspire the communities that you went through to become more, to collaborate better, and quite frankly, to give the rest of the world an idea of what we can do as well. So let's start off with your first mural. Tell us about that one.
Thank you for having us, and it's a real pleasure to share the stories and the journey of being human together with people along the Congo River. And the first mural starts all the way back to 2013, 2014, when I led a project of creative therapy called The Colors of Love into this incredible organization called a family of a single mother and 7 children that survived the war. And they took the chairs from their own kitchen and put it in this building that had bullet holes in the walls and holes bashed out of the cement for light of the day to come through because there's no electricity. And to be able to do art classes for 2 months with 80 youth that had been facing some of the most severe adversity we can imagine. Now we leapfrog into 2020, the December, and actually November of 2020. And here we are again. And the building has been transformed into a 3-story beautiful school with, instead of 80 children, now they have 670 children. And this time I wasn't alone. I went with Azarina Amanda De Luca, this incredible international Canadian painter. I mean, what a gift to have such a talented and inspiring company and a colleague. And we got to share art class. And these children were so ready to soak up the classes of creativity and express their own voice that it was as if it was more important than food and water. And to be able to dance symbiotically with that energy, which is such an inspiration for us in our own lives as well, that inspired the first mural here at CAM RDC. And this mural is first inspired by a photograph that I had taken all those years back of a sister, an older sister, that was only allowed to come to art class if she would be the caretaker of her baby sibling. And so she would rock her baby sister with her left hand, and she would put the baby to sleep while she's doing artwork and making artwork with her other hands. So in this mural that's called The Access to Quality Education for All, is painted with the children so large, but they're also painted black and white. But through their imagination and through the colors and through their drawings, they introduce color into their own life. They become the hero of their own story, emerging out of being a victim of their surroundings and environment and become creators. And that is spreading beautiful colors of love also onto the face of the next generation that she's holding in her arms. And below that is a journey of all the different forms of expression that CAM RDC focuses on, from drumming to dancing to sewing to painting to football, soccer, to planting trees. And this section of the painting was really led by Azarine. And the backdrop was painted by the photography students of CAM RDC, who each and every one of them have very powerful stories of surviving war and loss of violence, let's just say. Amanda painted the photorealistic images and the children, and the photography students, as they painted the backdrop, they really struggled at first in painting something that wasn't representative, that wasn't a photo. And for them to finally allow themselves to just paint pure emotion through color and brushstroke was an amazing feat, an incredible success, because they got there. And as you can see, there's so much movement, energy, and story written into non-representational painting. So, Amanda, do you have anything? Azarine?
Yes, I was getting lost in what you were saying. I was like, man, my heart's like dancing when you speak. Um, but it was really incredible because when we walked in the first day, we were greeted by these kids singing and dancing and like drumming happening. So to be able to represent that on a wall, and then also while we're painting it, the kids would come up for recess and sing and dance and drum. It was like another dimension because there you have the singing and dancing on the wall, and then you have these kids like that are like watching you, and then they're also doing the drumming. It was like the painting was the reality, and the reality was a painting. So you're just surrounded by this really beautiful, inspirational education system that's happening, and really creating these awesome kids that are just ready to make the world a more colorful place. It was really cool.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the scaffolding was quite a journey as well, finding whatever trees we could that, had been passed around from neighbor to business or wherever they could find these trees, and a saw, a hammer, and nails. And we built our own scaffolding. We drew the blueprints in the sand with a stick, and we got on the same page. And together with the coordinator of scheduling for the school and some volunteers, we were able to build it and get high enough to put paint on the very top. So that was a really incredible experience. And we thought, why stop there? The front entrance of this school had a wash basin because it was just absolutely essential for them to be able to continue this education process in a safe environment, for temperatures to be gauged with everybody that walked through the gate to make sure there's no fever or COVID, and wash your hands thoroughly before going onto the campus. And Azarine, yeah.
Yeah, the school came to us with this idea, this inspiration to teach the kids about COVID and washing your hands. And it's an interesting thing to want to teach and also make very engaging for kids, because washing your hands can be a little like, okay, for kids. But we came up with this idea that we wanted to merge the nature and also the national animal in there with it. So we're like, okay, well, how about we put the little girl washing her hands in the waterfall? Like, okay, that'd be super fun for the kids. And then the national animal is the leopard. And what if it's washing its hands along with the kids? And not only is this teaching about COVID, but it's also teaching about conservation, because they have these like just the most gorgeous natures. They're surrounded by it. They see the volcano from their schoolyard. It's right there. And just around there, there's like all this really incredible. You see on the painting too, the gorillas. We have all the birds that are native to there. We have the gazelle. and also the zebra. We have all these national kind of animals that live there, and it's teaching about conservation of yourself, but also conservation of nature.
Yeah. Wow. And what was also really, really special about this painting is that my former student from 2013-14 and the former assistant art teacher of my project, both really incredible local artists, now are really renowned professional artists that took that inspiration, that seed was planted, and they ran with it with total empowerment of creating and expressing their voice. And that was in a time, and still is, where it's very difficult for an artist to be able to make a living and express anything different than just painting a portrait or a reality from a photograph. And so here's a former student and my former assistant teacher, now very respected professional artist, coming back to where it all started and painting together with us in this symbiotic relationship, bouncing ideas and colors and techniques off of one another and inspiring each other. And the most exciting part of it was that they came back to the beginning and were able to plant seeds in the next generation. And it was the most beautiful example of sustainability that we've been able to follow up and see the impact, the effect, and the continuation, that for which started long before we showed up and continues long after we leave. And we get to see that snapshot and be inspired and touched by that moment in time where creativity is more powerful than somebody holding a gun.
Yeah, what you guys are doing is quite remarkable. And as I'm listening to the story behind your art, I'm recognizing and I'm hoping the viewer is recognizing this as well, but the huge impact that you get to have in a very symbolic way, where it's all about recognizing, our humanity within nature, our relationship with each other, and quite frankly, inspiring others through images that are long lasting. So it's not like you're just impacting one person at a time, you're impacting whole communities over years. And what a wonderful impact, and how you kind of blended, their culture with the ability to be inspired with the future, and connecting the past seeds that you've delivered with the future generations. I mean, that's absolutely brilliant. And so I think it's wonderful what you're doing. I think it's important for all of us to recognize the timeline, the symbolism, the impact of your mission, Heart of Resilience, as it impacts communities in ways that they're not being impacted. This is essentially a novel way of communicating what's important for us to be humans, and how it is to be, humane, if you will, or be part of humanity, I should say. So I want to thank you for today. I know we've got a whole series to follow up, many different murals. And so for the viewer, just stay tuned in for next week when Benjamin and Nazarene will be back with more incredible, insightful, inspiring creations. And I'm going to give you guys the last word for today.
Well, we're just really excited to see also what the viewer experienced in their own life. And it would be really beautiful to be able to interact with the impact that this continues to spread through your incredibly inspiring show.
Yeah, thank you. And on that note, please give us feedback, give them feedback, share the message, share the mission, and share the desire to share the Heart of Resilience with everyone else. I'm Dr. Bart Rademaker, and this is Prescription for Your Transformation: Real People, Real Conversations, and Real Success. And And we'll be back next week with Benjamin and Nazarene and the heart of resilience. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of Dr. Rademaker's Prescription for Your Transformation. Continue the path towards discovering your own authentic genius by tuning in next time for more real conversations with real people.